This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows, but also bonus episodes each month. But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
Because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/BloodyHappyHour.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And
This is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
This is your Turn Up Tuesday Quickie edition, and I think y'all should miss this because we skipped a week.
We just skipped, you guys. You know, we just it just happened.
We just took off for the Thanksgiving. We just didn't record. We didn't research. We didn't record for the Thanksgiving break. It was a true break. So we thank you to us. Like, I'm thanking myself for taking a break. And I think you got some reruns, some holiday reruns to get you in the holiday murder spirits. But now we're back on track.
We're back on track.
What's some news?
And we got some updates. So this past week, Alec Murdaugh was sentenced to 27 years for the tax, or for his money crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll serve 27 years in prison. He pled guilty on, these are some of the crimes: tax evasion, money laundering, financial tax fraud. They did a whole hearing. It was a sentencing hearing, or the sentencing phase, I guess, and victim statements, and some other attorneys came out and spoke, and that's where we are. 27 years, and that's state prison. So we're
on
still
top
waiting.
of what he already. Well, he's
Well,
going to get the retrial. Is he going to get the retrial?
We're waiting.
Waiting to know.
Because now Judge Newman has stepped down, or he's recused himself because
From
he was
that.
going to retire anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So he's no longer going to do that. So
Okay.
we'll just have to see what happens with if we get a new trial or not. Who knows? And then going back, Lori Vallow. So that her and Chad, you know, his first trial is about to come up.
Okay.
She was convicted already for all kinds of stuff, for murdering her children, and that was in Idaho. But now she's been sent to Arizona to face charges for conspiracy to commit murder for her ex-husband Charles Vallow and her ex-brother-in-law Brandon Bordeaux. So she already has her life sentencing, but she's booked into Maricopa County in Arizona on those 2 counts of murder. And I think for Chad Daybell, his are conspiring to murder the kids and conspiring to murder his wife. And they did decide in that trial, they're both in Chad Daybell trial and in the Koberger case, Idaho 4, they're going to allow cameras, but they're going to allow just the court feed cameras, so no outside media cameras. But the court will have a live feed that will then be able to be streamed.
Got it.
I don't know how good it will be, but we're going to be watching.
I guess that's a way to control, like, one angle. And
yes.
Okay. That's good enough.
So we're like, that's Great.
That's great.
That's better than nothing. Did you know who was released or who is granted parole after his murder?
After he murdered somebody?
Mm-hmm.
No, who?
Oscar Pistorius.
Oh, yes! Sweepy told me that. I'm going to send it to you.
So let me give you just a couple sentences of the background. He was a Paralympic gold medalist.
We covered it during our Killer Athlete Month.
Yes, so you can go back and listen to that story. He is supposed to be released from prison on parole early next year, which will be just under 11 years after killing his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp.
It don't even seem like 11 years.
I know. So he was a South American professional sprinter, and he was granted parole after serving time for fatally shooting his girlfriend through the bathroom door of his home in Pastoria on Valentine's Day 2013. So parole does not mean the end of a sentence. Typically, what do you do? Like kind of house arrest kind of thing? Or do you have to be check in for a certain amount of time?
Sometimes maybe like halfway house, and then like parole it could be for years. It could be 5 years, 10 years parole. It means you constantly, like they can do check-ins, you have to go in, you take the drug test, you still have to follow all these rules, keep a job.
So, yeah, with him, it says he has a complete community service, attend anger management programs that are to address both anger issues and violence against women, and his parole will expire December 5th, 2029.
Oh, wow.
So that's 5 years.
Yeah.
He won't be permitted to leave Pastoria. Yeah.
5 years?
Unless he gets permission from authorities.
More than 5 years.
2029.
What's about to be 24?
Yeah. Bitch, I be doing math. And then I have a big one. What do you know about Jared Bridegan?
Nothing. I don't think.
Okay, so on February 14th, all these things are like in February. I don't know. The Delphi murders were in February, and this one's in February. I'm sure there's like 15 more that I have on top of my head. But February 14th, 2022, Jared Bridegan is driving down the road. He has his little 2-year-old kid in the car. He notices a tire in the middle of the road. He gets out of the car. He gets out of his car to move the tire out of the middle of the road.
Yeah, okay.
And he gets ambushed and shot multiple times by random person, and leaving the kid shot dead. He's laying in the middle of the road. His kid's in the seat, in the truck, in the car, and then the person who killed him just drove off and left. Just drove away. So, Jared was previously married to Shanna. Okay, so Jana Bridegan and Shanna Gardner.
We already said never trust a Shanna. With the Shanna
just wait till more red flags about to come up. They were in the midst of a very, very bitter, long custody battle.
Always.
7 years.
Damn.
7 years. It was, what did I read? That she made over 300 filings or something. I don't know what even and she was wanting to get full custody. At this point of 2022, they had both remarried.
Mm-hmm.
He had remarried and he had just had another baby. So he had 2 kids with his new wife, plus him and Shannon had twins.
So who's in the back seat? The new kid?
One of the new kids, yeah.
Okay.
So what he did, he was dropping off the twins to Shanna. He dropped the twins off, and then he has his kid, and he's on the way back to his house, and then he sees his tire in the road, gets out, moves the tire, gets shot. Nobody knows what's happening. Later down the road, it is, and so Shanna, the person she married Mario Fernandez Saldano.
Oh, you did tell us about this. Okay.
And he was the janitor at her CrossFit gym. So he
not the trainer or the athlete.
No, Mario and his mop. They both already in jail. Mario and his mop.
Yep.
So She is like, she's a big girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's maybe 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", and she's kind of thick. She does CrossFit.
But she's CrossFit like muscle thick or muscle on top of fat thick? Like she's built muscle on top of it?
Yeah. It's not
Neither.
like...
No muscle.
I mean, I would not want to get in a fight with her. Yeah. I mean, it's not like toned.
Yeah.
It's just, she's just a big girl.
Got it.
And in some pictures, I'm sure she's lost weight. But anyways, Mario, her husband, is like maybe 5'6".
I mean, there's not a lot of
or
tall
5'5".
Hispanics.
I don't know. He's very obviously not her level of height. But so this happens. She, the crying ex-wife, and then she a couple months later ends up moving her and her kids to Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
This is where her parents are living in where they're from, which is Utah. So she's from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So she moves into this $1 million home with like 3 beds. I mean, it's just this huge house, I guess, out in Washington. And parents paid for it, $1 million house. She left Mario behind. He's staying in Florida. He gone. Because she's just like, oh, I'm just going to get away. Well, January 25th comes around of 2023. So this January, yeah. So which would be almost a year because the murder was in February 2022. They arrest this guy, Henry Tenen. He is the person who is the shooter. And he is like a career criminal. He has like domestic battery, trespassing, multiple DUIs. He lived at a property that Mario owned. Mario being Shanna's new husband.
Okay.
So that's the connection with
Janitor Mario.
Yeah, Janitor Mario. So Henry Tenen was the tenant, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Tenen was the tenant. He actually his truck was caught on video leaving the crime scene. Okay. So that's how they found him.
Okay.
They find him, they arrest him, he pleads guilty, and then he turns on his co-conspirators.
And now a word from our sponsors.
So then he points him out. So a few months after that, Mario gets arrested. So Mario's arrested in March of this year. And then 5 months later, Shanna's finally arrested. She's arrested in August. And she's still in Washington State. Now she has to be extradited to Florida. So she was just extradited to Florida.
Of course it's Florida. All the
because this is where yes,
Utah, Florida.
Yes, this is where they lived at the time of the murder. And Shanna's 36. She then gets to Florida. She pleads not guilty, denies any involvement, and by the way, her family they are millionaires. They make hundreds of millions of dollars a year, or $100 million a year. They created some kind of company. What was their company? Some kind of stamp up company. I don't know. Some company they created where they can afford to buy their daughter $1 million home, and they can also afford her attorney.
Okay. Is it Top Mom's attorney?
Jose Baez.
Yes, okay.
So this bitch got Jose Baez,
goodness.
which is the Casey Anthony attorney,
Yes.
which is the Aaron Hernandez attorney. He was also on the Weinstein case for a bit.
Yes.
So
Jose.
we all know Jose Baez. If you don't know, then you don't know anything about Casey Anthony.
She's gonna have to get on her knees
She
like Casey Anthony did.
So they're seeking the death penalty. The prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for her and Mario. And the issue is, so the link, the link to Henry Tenen, obviously he was a renter for Mario. So that's the link between he and Mario. But then the question is, how are they going to link him to her? Like Henry Tenen to Shanna.
They were together. Mutual friends.
I mean, just as far as like evidence wise, and Jose
Is about
to be like,
he's gonna say,
Flip,
"Don't kill me." I'll tell you everything.
and she's gonna throw Mario, Fernando, Saldana's under the bus.
It's all about who's
run
gonna
him over
flip
3
first
times
to live.
Because I feel like she has no soul. And you know what? This is similar to the Adelson case, which I haven't covered that, and I've mentioned it briefly. But
if you can kill the father or the mother of your child only because you want to win, that's what it's about, like control, and you want to win the custody, you don't have a soul.
Family court is worse than criminal court. I still agree. It is it's just so.
But you have to keep that going. Like you could have get all that.
Like
you could have did all that in a divorce. Do every other weekend or week on, week off.
I just don't have kids, so I don't know. And you've never been divorced with custody stuff, so I just don't know why it has to get so ugly. I mean, but it happens so often.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yep, no good. But there you go. Oh, also the Lisk, Rex Heuermann, his wife, has been offered the $1 million documentary. Peacock is going to do a documentary of her, Elsa, the wife, going through. That's why she showed up to one of his hearings recently, and so apparently she's going to be in some documentary. She's not getting paid for it, but she's going to get proceeds. So I don't know. I feel like she was.
And I thought something just came out that her hair, which we knew that, but her hair
now they're
was
saying
found
her DNA cotton swabbed or something, like some other part
on bodies.
Well, I thought we knew, or I guess, we knew it was on the burlap sack, I guess. Because then I saw the headline of the new DNA, and I was like, didn't we already know that?
Trying to say? Yeah.
I don't know. And then Delphi, that's a whole, I don't know. It's just...
No, we're not connected. So and I sent it to you just 5 minutes ago. The high school kid with autism that beat up the teacher in Florida, I believe, because she took away his Nintendo Switch. The video was out there, and a couple of weeks reported back that the teacher wants to just lay the hammer down on him, wants full punishments for him, which, I mean, he whooped her ass. Like, her life is not the same. She had to go through all these surgeries. Well, the adopted mom of the kid with autism is pleading to the teacher, the victim,
to show him mercy.
And there's a video of her out, and she's got some emotion during this video, and she's crying, and she's just basically like, nobody should ever have to go through what you went through, and I am not excusing his behavior. Like, it is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. But he has been through so much, and he is autistic. Please show him some grace, basically. And so I just think it's going to get sketchy, because that's going to appeal to so many people who have kids with some type of mental or disabilities, or educators who have to deal with it. I don't know. I think it's going to result in a hard trial if it goes to trial. I think it's just going to be hard to convict a kid, now an adult with autism, of something that major.
I heard it was the 4th time he's done something like that.
I'm sure they can. Yeah, I mean, because he's had a record. But it's
like, if jail isn't the right place for him, there's not a place.
I would have to think it would have to be one of those, which I don't. I'd have to have his evaluation in front of me, and I would have to know.
Like, yeah, it's a whole.
But I would have to think it would be like one of the state homes, like almost like an institution type things.
Yeah.
To where he's medicated, but then he's also supervised, but he's also getting counseling. He's around individuals who are trained to work with people with autism, because it will be a death sentence in prison. He's not going to know that he's in prison, that you can't do certain things, so he's going to do it.
There's so many variations though, like or the spectrum from autism. So I don't know like where he falls on it, or
I don't know either.
That's the thing. Like we don't know. Like was he in this? I mean, can he talk? I mean, is he verbal? I mean, we just don't know. I think that's so hard for me to be like.
So yeah, if he's like a high functioning,
because there's some autistic people who are you would have no idea. And they're the smartest people out there.
So is she a caring mom because he's been through trauma and he's a true kid with autism that goes through brainstorms, what I've heard a lot of them call, where they literally black out and they don't remember what they did when they wake up? Or is she a mom that's like spoiled and doesn't want him to have consequences, so she's used this as an excuse? So like that's what's going to come out, or hopefully that will come out, and they're going to have to pull the educators that have known him and then worked with them. Can they? That's
I don't know.
That's FERPA.
But there's no like medication to be on for
Well, they prescribe some of them like they would for like maybe like bipolar or ADHD or like anxiety, because a lot of the characteristics fall under all those. It's crossover characteristics, but there's no like, you're autistic, take this pill.
Yeah.
It's like you're autistic, but you have these characteristics.
Yeah.
Here's what we can give. So
like, I guess I thought maybe just like
we could take some of the same medicine. Behavior therapies, all those things are a thing that can happen. But we also don't know like triggers. We don't know. There's just so much out there, which I think it's going to be.
Teacher for him, and then I don't know.
Some people's personal things are extension of their self, right? And what if he did come from nothing, and so his personal prized possessions are it? So when you take that away, it's like a assault to them. You violated their personal space, their bubble that you're always supposed to respect in the when you're in classroom. So do we know what type of, did she know that could have been a trigger?
Yeah.
Was there a behavior plan that she might have known of? There's just so many things that my mind is like going, that's like, oh, it could go either way.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So many variables.
Yeah. All right. Is that all the news?
That's all the news we got.
Okay. So that is it. Thursday, we are bringing a new full episode. So if this is your first time listening, this is our quickie. Thursday's full episode, and we are taking it to Hewitt, Texas.
What?
Yes. We're staying in Waco on Thursday. So you local people, get ready, because you're going to hear some local things. We will see y'all on Thursday. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
And also, go subscribe to our Patreon and go and review us. Bye, y'all.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those two also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Hi, and welcome to Bustles and Bangers with your hostess, Rachel and Christopher.
I love it when you say my name.
And you didn't say hi.
I didn't. You just kept going. I'm going to introduce the book. I'm not reading it because I don't like reading.
Girls like cowboy butts, and those jeans don't hide anything. Find us on Instagram at Bustles and Bangers or on RogueMediaNetwork.com.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.